everybody. You can come along for a flight with me. This is another evening flight, getting off after work, getting out with my buddy Chris. We're going to meet up with James, who's flying from his place about, I don't know, 18, 20 miles away from us. Look in the sky, you can see it's springtime. There's the Easter Bunny, the contrails, the clouds, whatever that is, looking at us. Anyway, Chris is going to get set up here, and we'll get him launching. Then I'll get myself into the air, and Chris kind of turned into Aquaman on this flight. So there, he'll get his wing up in the air, his charger, and get his top 80 throttled up, all that raw power, and off we go. Off he goes into the air. I'm gonna get set to go. I took a little while. Chris had to circle around for me. I had everything perfect, but then I couldn't find my little bungee cord to pull the starter. It was right where it should be, just tucked under my shoulder strap a little more. But I ended up taking my unit off and thinking it wasn't there, thinking it had come undone. But eventually we get ourselves into the air. There's James up ahead of me, on a little bit to the right. We met up with him about halfway. Took off to the north and got to fly with him for a short distance. That's one of the bad things. There's James off to my right and Chris up high and behind. It's one of the bad things about not having the same LZ. You can't do the whole flight together, but we got in a little bit of fun before I had to turn around. Here I spotted some water, thought I'd do springtime again, get in a little short foot drag. I think the water out in the middle is fairly shallow, but I always like to do it right over on the edge again. Just make sure I'm only dealing with a muddy mess and not any real drowning risk on my water. Foot drags. I guess I inspired my buddy Chris. He decided he was gonna get his feet wet as well, so I saw him start circling around. I kind of knew what he was up to. He came in. I hear I'm a little bit ahead of him, didn't get the perfect angle, but he basically became Aquaman for the day. He got a lot of water, and he did foot drags left and right all through the water. Here I'm maneuvering, trying to get a little better camera shot on him. I get some better angles later when I was a little more prepared for it, but this one I was trying to not cut him off and but still keep him in view. Yeah, and he liked this spot so much he had to make, I think, two or maybe 3 passes. Managed to get around, get a little better angle for the shot this time. And I was just thinking to myself, I hope he doesn't go down in that water. Although actually, a little bit of, maybe it's evil, a little bit of me said, hey, if he does, I'll have some good footage of it. He's got flotation, and you know, he knows the risk of what he's doing. Although I did talk to him a little bit later, and I think he's going to rethink getting out there where you're not absolutely sure of the water depth. And but for this day, he went for it, let's say. So I was kind of continuing to head north from where we were. I was thinking we'd go visit this place called the Hemi Hideout. It's on the west side of Houston, I guess maybe Brookshire area. And on the way we had some more water, so Chris took advantage again. He was basically in water skiing mode, or Aquaman mode. Up to the Hemi Hideout, buzzed around there a little while, went a little further west. I spotted this horse racing track. Thought I needed to take a lap, do a little shadow racing. Started around the track going upwind, which was nice and smooth. A little bit of rotor to worry about, but as I went around the backside, I'm flying downwind, and really picked up, you can't tell the sped up video, but really picked up the speed. It didn't really make me concerned, but noticed it, and had to be a little more careful, get a little bit higher on the backside just to be safe. But Oh, sun's starting to head down. It means it's time to go back to our launch site. Found a nice field here with some scattered trees. It's kind of fun to zoom around, do circles around a few of the trees. Spotted a barn here that I was so tempted, didn't do it, but I was tempted to fly by and kind of do a toe tap, if you will, on the ridge of the barn. But right as I got to it, I decided against it. Just better be safe, I guess. But if you notice off to the right, there's a body of water, and of course with my buddy Chris following me back, you know what's going to happen. So we just about ran out of water, but I've decided to fly by my favorite windmill there. That's a windmill that I've kept flying by in a lot of my earliest flights. It's in a lot of my videos. But here, pretty close to our landing zone, some water that's kind of right up my alley for a little bit of a foot drag. I kind of skim across. It's kind of drying out. Hadn't had as much rain lately, but I managed to skim across here and dip my toe every now and then. So we'll bring it to a close, come in for a landing. Had to do a few little mini S-turns to try to hit my spot, but it was all good, and I enjoyed flying and enjoyed bringing the video to you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.